you know, if you know your history about what happened politically, basically in the Vanity Fair there was an article that came out, of the caucus room conspiracy, which I have no problem linking in the underbar to this whole thing. The Democrats at the time, they basically said, it was pathetic, but the thing that kills me is that when the American people, it's almost like they don't think in the kind of way to actually interpret things that come out of the mouths of politicians to mean them as painfully literally as they actually mean them. You know, a number of years ago, when Barack they were the minority party during the Obama years, and they said that their top priority in the Republican Party was making Barack Obama a one-term president. How you should have read that, you know, was, we're going to obstruct like there's no tomorrow. We know the economy is in bad shape and that the American people will feel frustrated that the two sides can't put aside their petty differences and start working together and with each other, but we're going to obstruct like there's no end, like there's no tomorrow. We're going to do it. We're going to raise the level of obstruction through the roof and refuse to work with them on even the most basic shit unless, it is absolutely essential just to do the bare minimum to keep the government up and running. And that is how you should have fucking read it and interpreted what he actually said, you know? And the only thing that should have gone through your head was something along the lines. So you think that your top priority and the one thing that you want to achieve with this precious Senate time is nothing? Well, now I'm going to go vote for them, the Democrats. In other words, I mean, how else are you supposed to look at this? Like it appears to me that the American people thought he meant anything other than what he actually meant, and anything other than actually, like they just twist themselves into pretzels and of in order to try to make it out like Mitch McConnell meant something other than exactly what he actually meant in that whole thing. So the caucus room conspiracy reveals just how painfully like he meant it. He was going to use all of his time in the Senate itself, doing everything in his power to bring down Barack Obama and prevent him from having a legacy, any legacy of his own. And so that meant that if the president had a BLT sandwich, they were going to try to ban bacon. And you don't get it. Like the guy Obama was literally like the Democrats had tons and tons of bills that were trying to address economic issues, but that whole agenda just got wiped out entirely by this. And we lived through years and years and years of it. There was a huge amount of time where like Congress could get nothing done. And you would like if there was one side of the aisle that was to blame for everything that had gone wrong, it was the Republicans. They were the problem. They were engaging in a period of completely, unprecedented obstruction. And it's like there has been this asymmetric polarization where one side of the aisle has gone to the hard right. The Democrats are right about exactly where they were, where it just began. The moderates are still calling the shots, basically, in Congress. And in the meantime, the other side of the aisle has gone to the fringe far right. And, this extent of polarization that we've witnessed has not been the same on both sides of the aisle. And, you have a public that is deeply confused about what the hell is going on. You know, and also takes action on that confusion, basically. Like like extremely opinionated but extremely misinformed at the same time about what's actually happening, angry, but has had their anger misdirected onto the Democratic Party when in fact many other things had caused it, because of the Fox News effect. Like there is a whole lot going on under all of it, and it's like, what you don't understand is that like they will play the patriotism card, but they will not actually get out of the Democrats' way and let the Democrats pass any sort of agenda that would be good for the economy, especially after the wake of the crisis back in like 2008, when the whole world order basically fell out from under, as far as economics, was concerned. Like the whole economy, world economy, just kaput into the Great Recession. Like they just had no, they obstructed like never before in that whole thing, which shows you that only one side of the aisle really went to the dogs, basically, and has gone off the deep end and started experimenting with actual madness. And it's like people don't want to read it like it actually was, like, because what you should have been thinking when he said that, like when he said that our top priority was, what a complete and pathetic waste of your time in the Senate, and in Congress, because if you actually spent your time in Congress struggling to get anything done, you could get something done. But apparently, the only thing, the number one thing that you're going to put on your agenda is just taking him down, and felt disgusted. But that's not what we did. That's not what our response was. Our response was to twist ourselves into pretzels to, read him in a better way, in a more flattering way, in a more, you know, like friendly way than what it actually was. And the Vanity Fair article basically shows that my interpretation of what he meant is the right one.